We'll have the start of the meeting for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board of 127. And first, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone. I am on. You're not hearing anything?
Is it green at the bottom?
Well, should be red.
That's not
Oh, no. No.
There's red.
The bottom should be green.
I don't have green.
Aye.
Okay, so.
Should they be plugged in?
Red is off. Shouldn't it be green?
Red should be on for these with the tops.
Oh.
This is on?
That's hot, yes.
Okay, now can you hear?
It doesn't plug in?
You still can't hear.
It doesn't.
Hello?
plug in, or-
Hello?
Hang on a second.
Mine's on.
Are we okay? Okay. All right, so the first thing is if we could stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we do roll call, please?
Ms. White,
Here.
Ms. Drumheller,
Here.
Mr. Morrow, Mr. Halloran,
Here.
Ms. Sheldon.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Announcements and agenda modifications. Did everyone have an opportunity to look at the agenda?
Yes.
I do have a modification, Madam Chair. Need to add, I have a couple of announcements and then the modification. If we want to go that way.
What are we adding? Where?
We're adding under new business, item F, which is the recreational trails grant for Garden Club Park. Item F under new business.
Okay, and I would like to add under new business G item, assignments of advisory members to park oversight, since we can discuss this now that we have a new alternate member. Does anyone else have any?
What are you calling? What is this?
The assignments of the advisory board to our parks, our oversight. So that will be G. Does anyone else have any modifications to the agenda? Okay, we'll move along to introduction of Ms. Sheldon.
Hi, my name is Grace Sheldon. This is my first meeting.
And do you want to give us a little background?
Oh, sure. I've lived in Sebastian almost 4 years. I have a son at Sebastian Elementary School. I've done different volunteering around the community, and this is my first time being a part of the Park Advisory Board.
Well, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
happy to have you, and we look forward to your input. Very good. Mr. Blankenship?
Madam Chair and Board, I would like to introduce Lisa Phillips, our new Recreation Coordinator. Lisa has 20 years of experience in Parks and Recreation, so she brings a wealth of knowledge to the City of Sebastian. Her role will be creating special events and programming. We do have a lot of special events in Sebastian, but they're typically third-party events. These are stuff that the city will produce on its own. And then the programming will be for all ages. We have a saying in Parks and Recreation that we serve from womb to tomb. So we'll be doing some programming along those lines for all ages. So welcome, Lisa.
Did I hear you say these would be things that the city puts on?
Correct.
So like the Easter thing?
The
The
Easter,
Christmas-
Halloween.
the Christmas
But then
parade,
we'll do, like we have, later on in the agenda, we have now added a recreation calendar for you to, just like we do for Riverview Park, we've added a recreation programming calendar, a listing just so you can see the type of activities that are coming up, like stargazing and fitness seminar and things like that.
So, well, welcome, Lisa.
welcome.
We're happy to have
Yep.
you, and there's so many great opportunities for things at our parks, as I'm sure you know. My question would be, from our advisory board, what would be our role and when would we contact Lisa?
Your role would be ideas and, you're hearing in the community some things that young parents are wanting to see. Your role is just like, the voice of Parks and Recreation and the ears of Park and Recreation.
Well, that's wonderful, because there's a lot of events going on, and I'm sure that it's nice to have someone that can coordinate that and be in charge. Well, welcome.
Thank you,
welcome.
welcome. Yep.
Does anyone else have any questions for Lisa? Okay. Let's move to the approval of minutes. Did y'all get a chance to review those, and are there any changes?
No.
May I have a motion?
Sure. Second?
Who? Okay.
I move that we accept the minutes from the December 16th.
Oh, okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
Thank
he
you.
did.
Yeah, prematurely.
So public input, we have no one present at our meeting tonight. Do we have anyone on Zoom for public input?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay, thank you so much. Unfinished business, let's start with Riverview Park.
Well, again, this is a placeholder we have on the agenda just to, if there's any updates to give you. The main update I can give you is that planning is moving forward. We should be, in the next couple of months, be able to roll out some type of conceptual plan for everybody to see. And as we plan, we continue to seek funding for what we know we have to do, for example, the splash pad and other things like that. So that Riverview Park planning is moving forward. Bryant Court Playground is in the ground with turf around it, and there's evidence of people swinging on it. So it's not quite finished yet because we've got to do some detail work around it, but it's probably 85% complete. Barber Street backstops, the netting started going up today.
Oh, great.
This is a unique situation where the backstops needed to be replaced. They were old and rusty, but staff got creative. Antoine and his crew got creative, and they're able to do it in-house with a little bit of fencing material and netting. So it'll be very.
How many nets did they replace? Do you know?
All of them.
Which is like,
Well, there's 4 backstops, so that much netting, and then between every field is netting to protect, from foul balls from hitting folks. I mean, I don't know the square footage, but it was
Quite a bit.
quite a bit.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Main Street Boat Ramp, we had our design kickoff meeting this afternoon. We have a consultant that will be designing the dredging. If you remember, we got a grant to design the improvements. We call improvements, but it really boils down to its dredging, so that boats can easily get in and out. Maybe larger boats can get in and out. So that we kicked that off today. We will be complete with the design we have to be complete by September. And by complete, I mean with permits, with design, with permits. This is, we got to get federal permits for this project as well, so it's a very time-consuming.
Is there going to be any change to the ramps then, or we don't know no, so it's mainly just clearing out?
Yeah, we cannot find any evidence that it's ever been dredged from the day it was built. So that's the number one priority, is to dredge it so that it gets better usage.
Okay.
That more people are able to use it. The dry lines at Working Waterfront and at the law enforcement dock for at Riverview Park, at Twin Piers, the southern dock we refer to as the law enforcement dock. That's where all the law enforcement vessels and first responder vessels are going to go. And then the Working Waterfront is where the fishing activity occurs. We have to have what is referred to as a dry line for fire protection. And the one at Working Waterfront had failed inspection, so we had to replace it. The one at Law Enforcement Dock didn't exist, so we needed to put that in. We got 2 grants from Fine to do that. So those will be done in the next 90 days, I would say, depending on how hard it is for them to get material. But that is well on its way.
Does that require closing the dock for fishing while that's
No.
being done? No?
No, it's all under or to the side
Oh,
of the
okay.
dock and all that.
Okay.
That dock was brought up during that Parks and Rec meeting when they talked about the grant at Riverview. And they had talked about doing some kind of lagoon or something interactive there. Is that not an option anymore?
I don't recall that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really can't speak to that because I really don't recall that discussion. The bulk of that activity over there will be between the docks, you know, the law enforcement, nothing else can go on there, and then the public dock to the north. And then Swing and Bench Park, we have the final shoreline stabilization plan, and we've sent it off to get a letter of no permit needed because we're on the land side of the mean high water line. So once we get that letter, then we can go out to bid and hopefully get that all tightened up and back to a non-erosive situation. And that's all I have for unfinished updates.
The Swing and Bench Park is, do you think that there will be any movement on that in 2025?
I do.
That
My
seems
gut
like
tells
it's
me there will
taken
be.
forever. It's been,
But we got to do the shoreline stabilization first.
Yeah.
We
know
have
that's
2 other grants in the hopper to fund the construction. So I have a good feeling that we'll get somewhere in '25.
Anybody have any comments on updates? Is there any public input?
For Ms. Sheldon's benefit, Swing and Bench Park, if you know where Main Street Boat Ramp is,
Yes.
just to the south of that,
Okay.
there's a strip that
Okay.
has nothing in it, but we refer to that as Swing and Bench Park.
Okay.
Across the street is Harbor Lights, the old
Yep.
hotel. So that's the area that we're referring to.
And what's the goal of that area?
I'm sorry?
What's the goal of that area to make?
Well, on the Swing and Bench Park side, it's been the goal to put in an area for folks to sit and maybe have a couple of swings and picnic table or 2 and some benches. We haven't gotten into the planning phase of Harbor Lights across the street yet, just.
That was the other thing I was going to ask. So the mainland part of that, the Harbor Lights
Right.
area, is just going to stay dormant until after the shoreline, the riverside is completed,
Right.
correct?
we're not using that property, though, for
Not
anything
using it for
right
anything
now.
right now.
Okay.
But that has been designated to
As a
PNR,
park.
correct?
Right.
Yeah.
To
that's I
to
thought.
what?
To Parks and Rec.
Okay, and I think, wasn't city council wanting it to be a green area?
Well, I don't.
Yeah, I think that was
I don't think they want it to be developed, but they're,
to be a green area of
Yeah.
some type. Okay.
And that was the motel on the corner, is that what you guys are talking about?
It's right next to the Chamber of Commerce,
Yes.
right
Yeah.
behind
I
there.
remember that when it came
Yeah.
down. Okay, that's a nice little space.
It is a nice
Yeah,
space.
I remember that.
And it'd be nice, there's never enough room on the waterfront to just chill,
To just be.
really. So it's great that that park was designated for recreational purposes. Okay, so we're going to go to item B, which is committee member updates. So that is, we'll start with Paul. Can you want to update us on your parks?
Yeah, well, Bryant Park would be the first.
Okay.
And I took a ride by there today, and yes, I was surprised I didn't see the caution tape up, because it's open. I expected it to be, it would take longer for the public to be able to enjoy, so I was happy about that. I noticed a bunch of palm fronds piling, so are they cleaning it up
Yeah.
for the opening?
yeah,
of that?
we've got a lot of fill dirt to remove and roots and
Mm-hmm.
limbs and all that kind, and we need to pour a handicap parking spot and a sidewalk before we officially open.
Okay. I know we talked about those picnic tables.
They'll be repaired too.
All right. And then the last thing on Bryant is the fencing. It has mold on the sides of it, and I don't know if it can be pressure washed or clean, but,
We'll have staff look at that.
yeah, all right. All right. And then George Street is always looking nice, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yes, ma'am. Joanne?
Oh, I see something that didn't come up. Easy Street, I haven't seen them there, but I know they've been working because they've been trimming those trees. There are piles of branches, so they're doing a cleanup on all the trees around the park. The water looks pretty good, and we have lots of new baby ducks. They are the traffic slowers, these ducks.
Thank goodness they're there, really.
Because
people
Easy
do-
Street is really fast. There's a lot of fast traffic, but they tend to slow down. The other, there was something that was supposed to be on the agenda. I just see it now. Memorial program,
That's,
That's after.
is that on here?
yes, on.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, that's all I have for Easy Street.
Mr. Morrow?
Thank you. I have nothing new to report on my parks.
Okay, for mine, actually, there's a lot more activity at Filbert Park. I don't know if that's because the trail is getting more used. It's been cleaned out a lot, so it's a lot more enjoyable to go through there. Winkle Park, there is more lunchtime. I see a lot of folks there, not really early in the morning. And the garden park is doing pretty well. Yeah, I still wish there was a walking trail there, but okay.
There will be.
Okay, so, and we're going to talk about in new business the assignments for the parks. Upcoming events at Riverview Park, we got quite a few things going on in February.
There's quite a few. We start out Monday with the Four Chaplains Memorial. And then the 7th is concert in the park, and then that Saturday is the craft club. While it is not technically in the park, on the 14th is the Finally Friday, which is across the street. Then the 15th is the art club in the park, and then the 21st is another concert in the park. So a lot of activity plus the normal day-to-day stuff.
Hopefully, we'll be staying out of the 40-degree windy weather for
right.
these nice evening things. Okay, so we'll start into new business, the My Legacy program.
Okay, this is, what I'm going to show you tonight is the Sebastian See My Legacy program, which is now our memorial program. We selected a platform that in the past we'd have to print if certain things changed, we'd have to redo everything. We found this platform that is very customizable. Can you see it on your monitors?
I can, yes.
I think so, yeah.
Very customizable and very user-friendly. All of these pictures are local. We can change them, we can update them, we can do whatever we need. There's plenty of space over here for explanations of certain things. But then we get into the campaigns. So not only are we using this for our memorial program, but we've also included the police department in it. It's just so user-friendly and it can do so much with so little effort that it made sense to include them in this. And then we'll be able to include other things as we go. But the main purpose was, number one, the Memorial Bench program. So through this, these are these are real pictures, these are real locations. We can do signage and plaques and everything that we could do otherwise before this, we can still do. We can list all of the parks that have capabilities, and
So
any particular place?
so scroll up. I, so this is going to provide an opportunity for folks to be able to go in and choose a location, and it's going to tell them right away, if I wanted a memorial bench at the Garden Street Park, I'd pick that park.
Is it available? Yes.
And it will say,
And
yes,
then
you're available, or it's
It leads
not.
you to,
And then you have an opportunity to put your inscription, do the pay, do everything right there.
but the thing that sold me on this program was under community stories. So, you know, typically when you do a memorial, you have the person's name, the date, their birth, date of death,
Oh, yeah.
and that little dash in the middle.
Yep,
Well, this gives you the opportunity to explain that dash.
the dash.
So if I can, even with the BRIC program, the family can get and I'll
An
show you later.
opportunity to tell
Yeah.
a little background.
So this is the family story for Paul Krogel.
Okay,
Now this, just envision that at his bench, this would be on his bench, and it's a QR code, you would take a picture of it, and you would get this story. And it just gives the family or benefactors or whomever an opportunity to tell more about that person than the day they were born and the day they died. So this was really taking the customization level to a different level, in my opinion. So
that's really nice. That's a great legacy. Would there be an opportunity for folks that have already purchased a bench, like all of the benches on the waterfront?
Yes.
To be able to redo the plaque with a QR code and be able to access this?
now there's an additional cost, of course, because there's a cost of those plaques. But there's that opportunity.
Okay.
Same, and eventually we'll get there with the BRIC program where, you know, we can't put a QR code on the brick. So we have the bricks in the ground, and then we have another little memorial area where the family can put their QR code. So you see this brick, and you find the name, and it'll tell you the story of who that brick is about.
Are we going to use it at Garden Park too then, for those trees?
In my opinion, we can do this anywhere.
For the trees that are there, so.
Trees will be coming shortly. A tree campaign will be, it's not in here right now, but it will be.
I think we talked about for that park, if there was some kind of a sign outside by the parking area that had, I don't know, the trees, were they going to be numbered or
Well,
something?
the way, nowadays, the way you do it is a sign in a central location with the folks that have donated for the trees in there so that they can, in this case, it would be the QR codes.
Okay.
So that they can
Okay,
read
right.
about.
That'll be interesting because a lot of those folks aren't, the ones that even put the trees in, they aren't even around anymore.
that's-
So,
yeah.
but the garden club, is it still in?
Yeah, so the Garden Club is still on Facebook. They have a Garden Club of Sebastian
be good.
Facebook page,
Yeah.
and intermittently, they have a meetup at the garden park, like to exchange plants. People talk about different things that are going on. So, yeah,
So maybe
I
when
know
this-
that they would be
be
very
interested.
interested. Once we have this put together, there is actually some contacts on the Facebook page that we can notify, and then they can talk to other members about it.
Another neat thing about this program is it's heavily GIS oriented. So if somebody here, there's a memorial here, but their family is overseas or somewhere else, they can go here. They can find them here on the map, and it'll take them to where their brick or their bench.
Oh.
And then if they have a storyboard, they can open the storyboard and read it from their computer. They don't have to be here.
The page I wanted to look at, because you went through, but it was like how to get a bench and go through. I didn't
Probably
see
the
that.
overview.
So when I did one years ago for my dad, and when I did all the paperwork and that, I bought the bench with the company. I contacted them. They sent the bench. The city did the cement slab underneath and mounted the bench on there. Is it still the same?
Well, but we would, we would, once the order is made by the person, then we would take over from there and do everything else.
Oh, so they just put the order in?
Right.
And then,
Well, they can put the order in, the bench would be shipped here, and we would,
The city will take care of
Yeah.
it.
but do
Yeah.
they pay for that ahead of time from the,
Oh,
to
yeah.
the company?
yeah, no, they
before-
pay for that ahead of time,
ahead of
when they
time.
make the order.
Okay, and then the bricks, it's how to do the bricks around
Same-
here
yes,
too?
ma'am.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty,
yeah, it's
Are
it's
the
quite
brick, are
user-friendly.
the bricks on here yet?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Okay.
is this up and running?
Oh, can you?
No, it's not going to be up and running. I will do the same for council on
Okay.
February 12th. After that, assuming everything goes all right, it'll be made live.
Good.
And have those benches already been, have you needed 14 benches for a while? And I just didn't know about them? Or is this new, that there's going to be
No,
14 new places?
No, that's just 14 available places.
And they have been for some time?
No, we just have put them on there.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would have been a
They were-
mammoth undertaking to manage that many.
Okay.
But with this, it's not that big of a deal.
All right, thanks.
That's nice.
So how has this impacted pricing for someone? I mean, this is great technology and you have a lot more opportunity. So I've done memorial bricks for all the veterans that I know when they pass. And it's $50 right now. So what is it going to look like when you have this program?
It'll be, assuming council approves it, it'll be $125.
Okay.
Because right now, that $50 costs
You're
the
losing
city,
money.
we're losing money.
Yeah, there's no question because there's a lot of work that goes into.
But with that comes not the storyboard, but the smaller QR code that will be mounted at the location
Yeah.
where the brick is.
And do they get to pick where the bench goes, or do you have a list?
We have a list on
of
here, there's a list.
Places, and so you have so many, you're not putting hundreds of them in one
No,
location?
they're all over the city.
And my other thought is, my mom would never be able to pull this up, so if they want to, they can come to the city.
They sure can.
And do the
And
paperwork.
Ron would help them walk through, yeah.
Patient.
What, so my other question on the bench program, because I know that's really popular. So if there's 14 benches available at X location, can you choose the location within it? So that's part of the process when you're online, is here's the sites.
Yeah, right, and we try to give them a overall view of where, like, if your bench is here, this is what they're gonna see. We can't do that in all locations or all situations, but in the majority of them.
Okay.
If you know the bench is in this general area, this is what the sight line's gonna be.
So the other thing this website could be used for is volunteers for X community event. You get them to sign up and get that information. So this has multiple potential uses for all.
It could be used for sponsorships, for programs and events, it could be used.
It, for the, a volunteer of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So, it'll be up and running maybe,
If everything goes all right with council, it'll be up and running on the 13th, February 13th.
nice, okay.
So is there any action this committee needs to take for recommendation or no?
I would love to take a recommendation to council that you approve of this program.
Yeah, I think that would be nice too. So any comments? What do you guys think about this?
This
I
is
like it,
pretty
yes,
impressive.
yeah,
It's gonna save
It
you
is.
also a lot of work for people having to call and get paperwork sent to them and back and forth, and people can do that. But as long as they have the older folks, I shouldn't say older, people that wanna come down here and actually get the paperwork, they can do that too then. Yeah, it's very
Is
good.
there any public input on this? Anyone on Zoom?
No one at this time.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion for sending a recommendation to City Council that the My Legacy Program website, that we would really like to see them approve this for the ease of the residents here. May I get a motion?
I like what you just.
You like my motion?
I like your motion.
Would you like me to?
Yeah, I-
Okay. All right. I move that we send a recommendation to City Council that My Legacy Program be implemented and approved by council. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. White. All in favor?
Hi.
Okay, we got a
Thank you.
approval. Good work.
Yes.
That's great. Now let's get into some money stuff.
Impact fees. So let me give you a summary of our situation with impact fees. I included in here, in your packet, the ordinance. So in most cases, the impact fee is $975 and some change per resident. Where that is not the case is in Sebastian Highlands. It's $650, I believe, in Sebastian Highlands because of the bankruptcy many years ago, part of the agreement. That's what they agreed to on the impact fees, probably because General Development or whoever donated a lot of land before they went bankrupt. I don't know, but that's
I think
what-
that's the offset.
Yeah. So, Sebastian Highlands excluded, $975 per resident. It is paid at the time of that the owner gets the building permit. We do plan on doing a analysis, because $975 in a growing community for recreation, for parks and recreation doesn't seem to be, that it's going to be sustainable. So we do plan on doing a survey or analysis of like communities and what their impact fees are. And then bring it to this board and hopefully to council for some adjustment. Because it's been quite a while since those prices were set to begin with.
2015.
Well, I thought it was very interesting, that this ordinance is 2001. So seriously, even as we've been discussing rebuilding parks and the cost of equipment just year over year, a huge escalation in equipment costs over the COVID years.
Right.
So it seems like this is something that should be addressed, because that is not a lot of money.
Right.
So you're saying Sebastian Highlands has a different fee than, and that's how much?
650, I believe.
Yeah, and it's
I
at the bottom here. It
didn't
says
s-
$648.16.
And there wasn't like there wasn't like a time that it would only be in effect for?
Not according to the ordinance.
So that one definitely needs to be,
I don't know that, since it's part of the bankruptcy, I don't know that we can do anything about that.
okay, I guess I don't understand the bankruptcy part. What is that?
It's only based on what I read in the ordinance, that there was a bankruptcy, and I believe that fee was a part of the negotiation.
Bankruptcy with
Of
the,
when General Development Corp., which was the developer of the Highlands, when they went belly up, they gave some of the land that they would have developed if they had still been able to be in operation to the city, and they negotiated through the court a settlement for
Lower-
the fees.
okay.
So, and that's in here. There's,
I thought
if you can read about
Maybe
it.
I didn't
So
understand
I don't know about that change, but certainly the newer developments that are coming on board, I think it would be really great to see what other cities are doing, because $975 doesn't go,
Yeah,
that's not a swing.
I wish we would have done this sooner, yeah, with all the building that was going on.
Yeah. So, but thank you for sending that out. It was very informative, and I wasn't aware that it's been that long since any of this has been addressed. And
Now, how does it work again when they're putting in a gated community? The developer on that, with all the houses going up, is there something like if they put a playground or something in their gated that they don't pay the impact on?
Let's use Bryant Court Playground, the new one, for an example. There's a development that's going on, I think it's south of that little neighborhood.
Oh,
They didn't have any property for a neighborhood park, so they gave, and it's called fee in lieu. They gave us the $80,000 to put in Bryant Court Playground.
and that's for the whole subdivision instead of billing each house that's going up in there?
Right. Well, the developer paid that.
The developer, right? That's interesting. And otherwise,
And that's fairly common,
yeah,
the fee in lieu
yeah,
is.
I thought I remember that. And if they were developing a small playground or something in their community, then.
They would get credit.
They get
Some
some
credit.
credits, yeah.
Some credit.
All right.
Yeah.
I think there was, see if I had any other questions.
Any comments, Mr. Morrow?
The impact fees then, I think this was my other one. Are we going to talk about the zones and stuff too, right?
I mean, the zones list is in there.
Okay, but I think we have a new person, so we probably should explain how that works.
Okay.
And the impact fees that go into those zones, as far as I know, is that in the zones, which are certain areas of the city, A, B, C, D zones, if there's houses that are put in there, a subdivision, their impact fee money goes into that zone pocket, and it's held there. So if we needed to put in a new park or whatever, there's monies there, and it's monies that were put in there because if
of
you look at that.
location,
Yeah,
yes,
the
it's-
location.
if
Yeah, I
they
was
fall
just
in the
gonna
zone.
Explain to her, so.
But I don't believe the whole amount stays in the zone.
But
Because if you look at the list, there's regional parks and other than neighborhood parks, there's
Yeah.
other types of parks. I'm not sure about that, but I don't think that's the case.
Okay, so each zone then has monies in it. And then if, like Riverview Park, which is a community park for everybody, needed something, then monies can be taken from each one of those neighborhood zones to help pay for that. I think we've done that before, I think.
That could be, but there's also, a piece of the impact fee that is for regional parks.
But I think we've given money, we've
It-
pulled money out of there for like.
Possibly, yeah.
a thing. Now, my question before was, in these zones, the money is there to be used if we need it, but after 7 years, that money is dissolved? And that's my question has always been, where does that money go if it's not used after 7 years?
I don't know the technical answer to that question, but, and I don't know, I mean, I know that in all of my career, this is a common rule with the impact fees, that if you don't spend it by a certain time, it goes to a bigger pot of impact fee.
And the only concern I have with that is impact fees can be used for new parks, redoing playground equipment.
Well, they have to be used for an increase in level of service.
But there were some things that it can't be used for, repairs.
They can't, routine maintenance, that kind of stuff, they can't be used for. But let's use Bryant Court, even though it was an impact fee. That's a much bigger playground than it was.
Right.
It has swing set that it didn't have. So that, in the world of playgrounds, that level of service went up.
So
So-
replacing these playground equipment, that would be part of that fee for that area. Because in here it just says, funds must be encumbered for a qualifying project within 7 years of being collected. I don't know why they can't just stay in there because.
I think they're probably used.
Yeah, we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, because it seems, since the parks have a certain lifespan, and they've kind of already scheduled over the next 5 to 7 years of what park's up next, then I doubt if after 7 years, there's money left over.
And that concerns me because we won't be getting that amount. We're about built out. I mean, Sebastian has been building
Yeah.
like crazy. We don't have a lot of monies I can see in the years coming.
But we have budgeted money. This is just impact. We
Yeah.
have budgeted.
Yeah, but the impact fee money
I
though.
mean, if there's no building, there's nothing we can do about impact fees.
Yeah, there will be
So-
none.
But
That's why I'd like to keep this in the zones without it being encumbered somewhere else. If there was a way to keep it in there so that if we are replacing playground equipment after every so many years, we have money to do that because it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And if we aren't getting much back in impact fees in the years to come, yeah, we can budget through the city, but that's just my thought. I'd like to see the money stay in there without it being.
and that may be of state regulation, the 7 years.
Can you, I mean, I think it's an accounting department question. Really, does it go into like
The general fund.
general parks and recreation? May I,
Where does it go? That's where,
yeah,
if it's not used. And some of these zones, they've got money and there really is no need to put in new playgrounds or, you know, the.
oh, and some of them don't even have playgrounds.
Right,
you know,
and so I hate to see that, I don't know, I would just like to keep it in there so that we do have monies to be able to replace equipment or to do any kind of changes, so it's there at least, making interest. But I don't know how we address that, or,
Did you see the balance sheet that we included?
yeah.
Yeah, the projected balances, yeah, they're pretty light. I mean, they're,
And how do they project, are they looking at new, I mean, how do you project
haven't-
that?
I mean, I have no idea how they're projecting, but I'm sure they've
Because
used a formula.
I just see us with, I think our building is going to be slowing down quite a bit here in the years to come. We're pretty much built out unless we add in annex in other properties. So anyway, that was my thought. Where does the money go? Is there any way we can keep that money in the zones and carry it over without it being,
Well, I'll ask those specific questions and then email everyone with the answers.
okay?
yeah. That would be good. Thank you for providing that, because it's
Yes.
really good information to go over. And also,
And I would say to our new person on our committee, it's really good if you can get to a lot of these parks in the weeks and months ahead of time, because it makes more sense then when we start talking about this.
oh, yes.
And we have quite a few parks, and I think you'll enjoy seeing,
Oh, yeah, my kids and I love them.
yeah.
Okay, so and we have you also gave us the list of the community parks versus what's in each zone. So that's good to be familiar with. Any more questions about impact fees? We'll bring that back to us about
I'll answer those questions.
money dropping off
Yeah.
or not dropping off. Okay, next is the 2025 meeting calendar.
I just attached that so you would have, you could see what our projected upcoming calendar is for 2025.
Thank you.
Can we talk about changing the December 22nd meeting now,
Sure.
potentially? That's just a couple of days before Christmas, so I'm assuming if it says that December 15th would be available to us? If it's on here, may want to change to December 15? Do we have that option?
We do,
We also have an option too, if there's really nothing going on, we can cancel a meeting.
correct.
It doesn't have to be, and that might be one that there's not a lot, I would,
Although we do have the Christmas parade
yeah,
and
but
different
for
lots of things
park,
going on.
but for park meeting, for committee
Yeah.
meeting, I would say if there's not a lot that needs to be addressed to us in December, I would just cancel that one.
Well, we can look at that in November. I
Right,
don't want to
right.
take that up.
No.
But can we make the change to December 15th? Does anyone have any problem with that? It's so close, the December 22nd, that's usually everyone's going
Yeah.
crazy.
Let's do that, but I would say also if we don't need to use it.
What about the November meeting?
Yeah,
The
and what about,
November
oh,
17th?
The November meeting as well.
in November meeting to the 17th?
Yeah.
So that the week of those holidays doesn't have to be stressed for
We
anyone.
need
So
a
we
motion
can-
and a vote.
Need a motion.
So can I hear a motion, please?
You want to do one in a second?
A motion to move the November meeting to the 17th,
In December?
both of them?
In
Okay.
December.
And December to the 15th?
Okay. Do I hear a
Yeah.
second?
Second,
Okay, I have a second from Mr. Morrow. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. We got the holidays off. All right, thank you for including that. Next thing is the recreation program calendar.
So this section of the agenda will grow each month. So we just wanted to start show you some of the stuff that's coming up. We got the nutrition seminar in February 7th at the community center. Valentine's Day bingo on the 14th here at the senior center, and stargazing on March 8th at Riverside Park, Twin Piers. The Treasure Coast Astrological Society will be bringing their large telescopes to help us check out the stars.
I have
So-
a question about, I'm so sorry, go ahead.
Go.
I just had a question about that. I know that my son at Sebastian Elementary School is getting ready to study their astronomy unit, and I'm wondering if those kids would be able to come to that
Sure,
event.
absolutely.
It's at night, but it's not super
It's
late.
fun, yeah.
I thought that might be really fun.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. We'll have a couple of food trucks and a dessert truck.
nice.
And
Nice.
And it'll be.
That should be fun. It should be great weather,
It'll
too.
be warm out, too.
So are these classes just show-up classes?
Yes.
Or are they, so?
At this point, we're not doing registration,
At this point, you can just show up, okay.
which makes Lisa very nervous.
And so just for someone, if I'm talking to people and they're interested in any of these, they bring cash with them?
There's no fees for any of these.
She's got Kathy's calendar.
Oh, you're,
These all have costs on them.
oh, that's a different calendar. That's the,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking
yeah,
at the agenda, what's on the agenda. Well, we're going to eventually get to cashless. Right now, they can bring cash, or we've now instituted where we can take credit or debit cards.
Okay. Maybe this is something that can go in that legacy website. Signups also. And pay, because you'll be able to pay online, right? That's really good. I think the nutrition seminars, I'm so excited to see that that is starting, because I think a lot of people have questions about nutrition right now, so that's good. So the Parks and Recreation logo is next?
I included a sample of that. That's new. We wanted to start creating a more parky identity for the department. So Avery actually, and you've all, I think, met Avery, created the logo. It says just at a glance about some of the stuff that we do or that you can do here in Sebastian. So we'll probably stick with that for a little while, then change. And it's not something where you see a green pea and you know it's Publix. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking just when you
I like it, it's nice.
I like it too.
Me too.
Where's the lady with the fishing pole?
Yeah.
She'll be in the next go-around.
Or the little boy carrying, or the little girl carrying a pole. That's very nice.
It's nice, very
Yeah,
nice.
I like to see that. You don't need anything from us in relation to that?
Not for that. No, I just wanted you to be aware.
Okay, the next item is the recreation grant.
So we have the opportunity to apply for recreational trails grant. Recreational trails grant are exactly what the title says. It's money to build, complete, outfit trails in parks. So some of you may know that we're partnering with the Natural Resources Board, the department, to do a major planting at Garden Park. So while this will become much later, because the funding for this isn't available until January of '26, but you have to apply now, it'll just give us the opportunity to finish the trail around the facility, upgrade whatever's there, upgrade the furnishings, add we got the benches opportunity, just an overall completion of that trail in that park, because it's a large property and it's a nice walk.
Yeah.
But right now it's only maybe a half complete or 3/4 complete. So.
What kind of planting?
Well, I couldn't tell you that right now. We would have a landscape architect. Oh, you mean for the Natural Resources Board?
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's all native material, butterfly, pollinating stuff that the Natural Resources Board reached out to the company in Melbourne, and I can't, Native Butterfly, I
Native
think.
thing.
Has any date been set for that yet?
I believe it's going to be the week of March 10th.
March, okay, because I thought I saw something on the city site
And would you
about that.
want the garden club involved in this or not?
I'll leave that up to the Natural Resources Board. This is kind of their baby until it gets in the ground.
Okay.
The Eagle Scout project at that park that has the pollinators in it needs some more pollinators.
Where?
Definitely.
That'd be-
So the garden park where the gazebo is, on the other side, there's, an Eagle Scout did a pollinated butterfly park. But though it needs some help. It needs some revitalization to work, but that's great. I'm really happy to
Yeah,
hear
and
that.
I drove around that park a few weeks ago, and it's really been kept, well kept. Because when Brian and I and a couple other we hiked that when we first talked about cleaning that out, and it was pretty messy with the brush and stuff. And then on the back side, and there's the little walkover bridge and that. I would say when you start putting in sidewalks and things or the walking path, we need to let the neighbors behind there, keep them updated on what's going on, because that was one of the things that they would
And I
like.
think we would stay away from that, going too deep into that area, out of respect for that pocket back there.
Stay away from that area as
Well,
far
not
as.
stay away from it, but not go too deep into their backyards, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know, and they realize that, but just that, in the weeks or whatever, we will be putting in a walking path, just making you aware, because I think being good neighbors with having that back there might be nice to let them know, just to
We
keep
had
them
a lot of
updated.
people come here to talk to us about how they did not want to have that done.
Yeah, and so maybe just keeping them updated would help.
So the grant is due March 1st, and again, we won't get funding until January of '26.
Okay.
So it'll
That'll
be
be
a
a
little
nice,
while.
that'll be nice.
It will be nice, because that's a beautiful, I love going there, and having the fountain in there, that was a great addition for that park. So I walk there regularly, so that's good.
Good.
Item G, which is the assignment. So for our new member, we actually have a couple of parks for you.
Oh, great.
So we had two, Schumann Drive Park and Kildare Park are our two parks that are not assigned to members at this point.
Can you tell me the second one again? I know Schumann, I don't recognize that.
Well, Kildare Park is really, it's also called Schumann Lake Park, so it's off, when you go by Schumann and you go to Kildare, there's a park there.
Kildare, yeah.
But it's really almost an extension, when I look at it. So those two parks.
Is that the one that goes across the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an island in Schumann Lake over there, and
It's really a nice.
and did they tell you need to rake and empty garbage? And you didn't know that?
Yes, what are my responsibilities?
So part of this really is in between our meetings to visit the park at your leisure. You can go. There isn't any mandate. You're not getting paid. Not getting a raise. 0 is 0. So, but we like to go through and just look to see if there's. I look for like fire ant mounds. I look for,
Okay.
Some of the old benches, they're not replacing the wooden benches anymore, thank goodness, but some of them, they'd be splintery, or they'd be dirty, or you'd see, some things wrong with, if you see any type of safety hazards going on there, something just to bring, and you can always just email Mr. Blankenship.
Sure.
And they really good about dispatching someone and getting it fixed. 'Cause
Cool.
our parks look pretty good.
Yeah, Oh,
they're great.
I'm really proud.
Absolutely.
And
the
also,
job
if
that's
you
being
see
done.
people there, just kind of observe what they're doing or not doing, and, once in a while, at my park, but there's a lot of people on Easy Street, and just
Yeah,
ask
Easy
them,
Street. What do you
how
like,
is it
what do you not
going, or
like?
what do you like, or
You got
whatever.
it.
So sometimes feedback.
I see it's right next to the Schumann Park here.
Right.
No problem.
In any other park, you have
Yeah.
a young child, so when you go to another park or our parents say, boy, I wish they had this piece of equipment there. And we're constantly, over the years, moving different equipment, upgrading equipment. So it's really good to
Yes.
know what people out there and what they like about some of the revisions we've done and what they don't like. So the feedback is really purposeful for us to be able to let staff know what we're hearing when we go out to our parks.
And also, if you're at any other park, like if you're going to be checking out where all these lists of parks are and you see something in there maybe you have a thought about, you can always,
Yes.
let them know. We have a good parks department.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We do, very good. Does anyone have any park that they want to give up just while we're making a change? Is everybody okay with what they got? Okay, we're good then. All right, anything else up here? Okay, well, then we have an adjourned meeting.